Welcome back. Once again, this is the CCA Podcast. I am Q France. Behind the scenes is my man, the man with the plan, Mr. John McLeod. And today we have a special guest, no stranger to the room, no stranger to the game, my man, Jonathan Powerhouse. I ain't gonna say his last name. My man. As always, real quick, always got to shout out Pushing Weight, always sponsoring us, showing us mad love. Go to pushingweight.com right now, get all your fitness and apparel needs. So, my man, Powerhouse, what's good with you, baby boy?
Chilling, man. No, another day. Trying to go in.
Bruh. So we gotta go down. We gotta go through a lot with you, man.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot to talk about, and hopefully we can get everything on the table tonight.
See, for everybody that don't know, me and Powerhouse talk at least once a week. Minimum. At least once or twice a week. We message each other at least once or twice a week. This man isn't he's on the scene, but he's always paying attention. You have to understand that even though you might not see him posting as much as he used to do and everything else, he is very much paying attention to what's going on in this culture. And I know this for a fact. So we're going to go right back to the beginning, the very, very beginning. This is a story I don't even know. How did you even get started in this, man? Like, what was the first thing you saw?
Not to like look up to this dude. And he had a persona to him that was real righteous, you know what I mean? And you know, he did his thing on me, you know what I mean? He did his number on me, basically. Like, you know, I was that guy to, you know, because I could do the workout. So you know, other people, you know, they'll do the workout, but they won't last. But me, I'll last. So I'll always get the punishment because I could always finish it. So I was the guy that they'll always pick on because I could finish the workouts. But the Washington Grays was the beginning of it all.
See, I could relate to that. I can relate to that because when I went to the military, it was about the same thing, man. They was like, "You drop, give me 50," and I was like, "That's it."
10 times worse.
Yeah,
10 times, 20 times worse.
So you started getting the feel of what it like to discipline, being structured and having discipline and following through with routines and everything else as far as the fitness goes and getting that mentality. So how did you get introduced to the calisthenic culture, and how did you use what you learned from there when you got involved?
Well, it was like a huge gap because I got out of there like at 16. You know what I mean? I was old enough to just say I didn't want to be in there no more. So I just started getting introduced to baseball games, and I got into working out, going to the gym. My brother had a Bally's card. He never went to the gym. The Bally's in Fordham. And at that time, they didn't take the pictures for the cards. So you could just walk right in, you know? And he had like 7 months. He wasn't even going. I think it was some kind of like some program he was in where he was getting, I didn't want to get into that, but he was basically not paying. That was just it. And it was just, nobody was going. So I just took the initiative and started going to Bally's, and I started meeting people there. And it was a long time since the cadet days to when I went to the gym that I was around people that, you know, with that kind of intensity, that will raise that kind of intensity where, you know, I can actually feed off from. You know, I was always working out by myself. And that was, 2007, 8. And then I had a dude from my block, my boy Beans, he used to do muscle ups, and my boy Mach used to do muscle ups too. But they both kind of got it at the same time. And I was like, yo, that's the most amazing thing I ever seen. I ain't never seen that before. And I never seen anything else. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. And he was saying, yo, this guy's on YouTube that do it. So I said, what? I'm doing security at the time. So, you know, you doing security, you twiddling your thumb waiting to get the hell out of work so you could just hit the gym because you're just going to exert that energy. And so I'm looking through all these videos. I'm looking through the Get Familiar series that they had, you know, looking at all the Wingate videos. And then I saw the infamous elevator with Beast, and it was just something that it just struck a chord. It was like, damn, man, like this dude is like, what, 220 plus, moving like the way he's moving. And I'm like, what am I doing with these weights? Not saying that the weights is bad, but at the time I had done everything I can with the weight that I needed something new. So that was just like an explosion of just like, you know, what if? Like, damn, I wonder if I could do that. You know, if he could do that with his weight, maybe I could do that with mine, you know? So it led to that. And that was just the beginning of it all.
So, okay. So from there, seeing that, did you immediately go and try it, or did you run into anybody that was really like in the culture?
Well, I first started seeing the videos, and then I said to myself, yo, I can't even go and hang out with these guys yet, or even go to any one of these parks. I don't even know where they at. Like, I'm looking at this video through a screen, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
So like there wasn't no information like how it is readily available now. So, you know, out back then, like you found the culture, you found the gold mine. And I know that's how I felt. I was like, oh my goodness. It was like just, it was crazy. It was like a hidden underground club or something, you know what I mean? And it was just me taking the time to prepare myself, because I felt that everybody that was already in the game, they had already put time in before these videos were even put out. And you could tell just from the quality of what they were doing that it wasn't done before. It was something that is happening as you're seeing it. And I'm like, you know, I got to get on board to see what I can do and contribute to this culture as far as if I want to be seen, you know? So I took a year and a half before I even attempted to make contact with anybody, and I trained. I trained hard every single day, dude. You know what I mean?
when did the handstand get involved in this?
The handstand got involved. It was in the middle of the year and a half that I was just soaking up all the videos that I was looking at, and I came across a video with Hit, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. I ain't never seen handstands like that. And then I saw the Barbarians 09 Jude.
Yeah.
Handstand one with when he was doing with the Insane Clown Posse music in the background.
Yeah,
dude. Oh man, that I felt like, yo, that was one of the most like craziest videos that I was like, yo, I can't believe the handstands is so strict like this. It was like, you know, I was seeing it two different styles, because Hit has his style, Jude has his, and I was like, damn, man, like you can go either way, and it was like sky's the limit for me, you know. And then I just started training with the handstands, and I just started like looking at other people that did handstands and looking at their techniques and what they would use, looking at how far apart their fingers are, what they use with their feet. Is it pointed? You know, do they use their knees to kick back? Is it their core? You know, there's a lot of different things I started dissecting with the handstands, to the point where I was like, all right, so I'm going to the denominator where no one is using it. That was my common denominator. Whatever no one's doing a technique, I had to fall to that technique and just try to adapt to it. And then that's where the handstand just came through. And once I learned how to do it on the dip bar, I was able to do it on the floor. And I learned how to do the handstand before I learned how to do the muscle up.
Wow.
I struggled with the muscle up, dude, for a while.
So who was anybody in particular truly influenced? You said you saw Hit do it, you saw Jude do it, but
Gator was doing it.
Gator too.
Gator had handstands too. You know what I mean? He had that.
Gator was doing it for a minute.
He was doing it for a minute too, and he was in there young too. You know, going in with the workout.
He was a teenager.
You know what I mean? A lot of people know that. You know what I mean? And he was one of them too.
So when did you meet all of the MBXA guys? When did you meet Matrix and Rebel and Soul?
It was right after the 2009 MBXA.
So you met them?
No, I met them, but it was after that. It was after that. So in between 2009 2010, Matrix had opened up the gym at Dalrose. So he had the Dalrose situation going on, and he had the gym going. And so I was like, damn, the first indoors. I'm in the Bronx, and almost everything that's coming out as far as calisthenics, like it's like a sprinkle of the Bronx, and everything else is exclusively Brooklyn.
Right.
And you know that trip from the Bronx to Brooklyn, dude. Like I'm not even. If you ever taken that train ride from the Bronx, especially where I'm at, to Brooklyn,
right.
is a fun ride going, but when you come back, so I'm telling you, bro, you better just keep one eye open because you might pass out on that train, dude.
Right. Trust me, I know it because I used to live farther than you, and I remember falling asleep and waking up without my chain on.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. And so when Matrix opened up the gym, I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna try and step foot in there and see if I can mingle with you guys and see what it is. I just wanted to train. Like the initial thing was to just get in contact and show them what I can do and see what I can learn from them, because they were the gurus for me. You know what I mean? They were doing it first than me, so I was just looking for, you know, a place to show what I've been working on.
Right.
You know,
right.
and at that time, it was kind of crazy because like you just saw a whole bunch of totem poles all throughout the city of just different teams, just like building. It's like 2009, 2010, like the teams are solidified. The top, the starting lineup's already there. You know what I mean? And I'm coming in like, oh man, like, you know, I know I ain't gonna go against some of the dudes that already been here, so I gotta go with the guys that's under them, you know. So I'm looking at, you know, Juice and D-Real, No Question, and all these people that are like, you know, they're like the generals of the teams that's, you know, that they representing. But with Be Extreme, when I got in there, I felt that they genuinely opened their arms for me, man. They really showed me a lot of love, man, and I'm really grateful for that, man. Matrix too. Shout out to the whole Be Extreme, everybody. Matrix.
Sure. And definitely.
Everybody. Definitely. Matrix, Rebel, Stamina. And Stamina was the one that when I first went to the gym, he was the first person that was there. The first person I met was Stamina.
Wow.
He's there working out, and I was just working out, and I think he was working on his 360. He was working on the 360 there. Like, he was just, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? He was, and when I got there, I forgot what day was it, but when I got there, he was already working out, and I introduced myself. He's like, my name is Stamina. I'm like, I don't even, I mean, my name is John. He was like, you ain't got a name? I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know what you want to call me. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, I don't know, Powerhouse. But that conversation happened after we already did like a little freestyle session to gauge us, you know what I mean? So he could gauge me and gauge what I could do. And then once I did that, the name came up, and I'm like, I don't even got a name. And and I was like, what about Powerhouse? He was like, yo, bro, you can call yourself anything you want to call yourself. But what you doing, it doesn't even matter at this point. And I was like, I guess it's that. It sounded good when he said it, and I was like, all right, whatever. It is. I wasn't even thinking about the name. I was just so happy that I got, you know what I mean, accepted, you know what I mean? And then Soul came in right after that. Soul came in, and Stamina was like, yo, he's new. He's in the team and everything. He was like, oh, all right. You know, so he just walked away. I was like, this dude, right. Man, he started early. But that's my brother, though, man. That's the dude. But yeah, man, it was a fun time, man. It was great. It was good from the beginning till now. Like the best experience was getting introduced to it, man.
What was those training sessions like? Be Extreme.
It was like a mixture of it's like we would freestyle, but we also had like numbers. We had reps we had to do. We had a certain amount we had a workout routine in place, but you know, when we like just relaxing and everything, we'll just go into a freestyle and then go back to the workout. And we will go back to the freestyle and go back to the workout. So like we're jumping from back to back. And I guess, I don't know if it was like intentional, but it helped with the freestyle as far as like, you know, being able to do sessions, jump into a freestyle and go back to doing sessions, just keep on going back and forth, and just putting a lot of endurance on your muscles, and just putting a lot of you know, just like confusion for the muscles and everything. It was a routine that I wasn't even used to. You know what I mean? It was just crazy. It was a lot of routines that we were doing, like 25, 50s. You know what I mean? We were doing those routines. We were moving the tactical what is the heavyweight belt? Not the heavyweight belt. The heavy bag. We'd be pushing the heavy bag and then go back to the bars. Like it was like routines we'll pick up and just add on to it. You know what I mean? Like, and then finally when we got like 6 different workouts, we were like, all right, that's the routine. We've done so much to get to this point that it's like, oh man, like it was those workouts that at the end of the year, like, we done. All right, we done. That's it. We can't even go no more.
So he was pretty much preparing you for his style of competition, basically. Matrix was.
Yeah, that was the beginning, though. Eventually, we started doing
competitions, because that's what those competitions are like. Like, you have to be ready. Your endurance had to be up for NBXA competition.
Right.
That was all prep. But and again, shout out to Matrix. Hopefully, we're gonna get him on the show soon. He told me that he was traveling, so we're gonna get back to him for sure, because we definitely got to get Matrix and Rebel and everybody else on this podcast to get that entire story about NBXA.
We need that.
Extreme. So now, first of all, right, you from the Bronx, home of hip hop. We understand what creativity means in standing out, right? And this is one of the things that you are known for, is your unique style.
Yeah.
So, and to my knowledge, you pretty much harnessed it by yourself. You would just show up and be like, Q, check this out. Now I'd be sitting there, yo, somebody get a camera real quick because he's about to do something crazy. So what is it like in your lab, man? What are you looking at to like come up with some of these things that you come up with? What made you think I'm gonna do the handstand on the back part of my hand? Did you see somebody do it?
Yeah, I seen somebody did that. It was a video, D300.
Okay, the push-ups.
There was a video that he was doing the push-ups, and then like in the middle of the whole routine, he had like fallen on the wrist. But his facial expression was like, okay, keep going. So he kept going. And I was like, wow. And it was just that little hiccup. He went right back to the routine and just kept going. I was like, yo, that right there looks crazy. And I just froze it. And I kept going to that, kept going to it. And I just replayed it in my mind. I was like, yo, if I could just introduce that into a routine and go back to it, but intentionally, maybe it could develop into something a little more complex if I put more time to it. And so I just started going into like zones, man, where I wasn't even counting numbers. Like I'll put a song and then I'll just do a whole routine to the track. And I wouldn't get off from the routine until the track is over. So if I start on the handstand, I'm gonna stay on the handstand as long as I can. I'm gonna get on the turtle for as long as I can until I can't no more. I get on the push-up and rep until I can't no more. And when I can't rep no more, I get on the plank. And when I can't plank no more, I just like stay on the floor and then go right back into it would just be a consistent until the song was over. And I go right back. But I was able to gauge like going from those like from doing the push-ups, going down levels, and then go back up. Like it was those kind of routines I would, and since I'm not counting reps, you're not really noticing how much strength you're putting out there and how much, the output you're putting in.
So you're just pretty much testing the ebbs and lows.
I'm just testing everything. With the wrists, I didn't really do a lot of wrist handstands. Those were like activated during competitions. Like I would do routines where like, shout out to my boy Ant, because he kind of gave me this routine. I don't want to leave him out for that, but he told me grab a mop, grab it by the base, and then just lift it up and keep going out. And the goal is to get to the tip of the mop until you can lift it up. Eventually, you'll be able to do it, but then you got to wet them out. And that's the second level. Wet them out, and then do the base again and go back out. So I would just play around while mopping. Before I mop, I would just like do that routine and play around with it. You know what I mean? Or
Wait, you did what with the mop?
So you grab the mop by the base, right? And then you just lift it up. And
you keep
letting the mop go out, and you keep lifting it up until you get to the tip of the mop, and then you're good. But then now to add more to it, you wet the mop next time,
right?
And keep going and do it again. They do. I think it's I don't know if they do it with the with the sledgehammer. They do it with
Yeah,
that.
they do sledgehammer, the steel mace. They do
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It was
That's a good
similar to that.
technique. That's a good technique. And but matter of fact, that was one of the questions people asked. One of the exercises you could do to strengthen your wrist. There you go, right there. You get it. You can hold it here. You can tilt it. Whoop, there you go. Tilt it
So
forward.
that
Bring it
too, yeah.
back. There you go. Yeah, you
Or
can
if
do
you
it
were
this
like
way also.
to another strengthening tip that I'll give that I used for the wrist is like, you know, you put your hands down on your wrist, you kind of have this shape. So what you do is try to get like a softball or a hard ball, and then go back to it. Like you have something to grip. So when you do it without a softball, your fingers tend to go in, and it closes in the palm of your hand more. So if you could control it to be out, you know what I mean, instead of it, you know,
Right. A bigger hole.
a
I see what you're
bigger,
saying.
wider space to put the balance on. So you have more to,
Right.
you
Because
have
you need
more.
more surface area to balance.
Right.
I
Eventually,
got
once
you.
you get it, that's the spot right there immediately, and everything just goes up the chain. That's it.
Right. See, that's one of them things. I gave up on doing that handstand. And even the push-up. I don't even have that flexibility in my wrist, bro. I'm still working on that flexibility in my wrist.
Oh
But
man.
so now, how did they introduce the contest to you? Did you already know about it? Well, no, you didn't know about it. So did they just pretty much say, "Yo, you're competing in the next competition"?
Well, Matrix initially was like, want to compete? I was like, hey, why not? Because he saw what I was doing, but he was like, well, you got to get them pull-ups up, man. You got to get the numbers. It can't just be all freestyle. Because I was just, you know what I mean? Just going up. And then when I come down, I run out of gas. So like,
Right.
Matrix was giving me a lot of knowledge on that as far as like how to like get your endurance up and how to continue to set and not break it. And then also to just, he always used to say, yo, make it look easy. You know what I mean? But
as a major key right there.
He like, make it look easy. You know, that was his motto, man. And it was I learned a lot from Matrix, man. For real, man. Shout out to Matrix again, man. Because I think most of my calisthenics IQ came from being around those guys, but most importantly, the routines and just the information that he was able to give me. You know what I mean? Because Matrix talks, you know, he's like a machine gun. You know, he just starts talking, and you got to pick some of the things up. You know, he means good, but you just got to get, you know, because he just says everything.
He's just a fast talker.
You got to pick up on it. You know what I mean? You got to pick up on it because he got a lot of excitement. So you got to try to match it up to try to comprehend a little bit. You know what I mean? Not that he can't, you know, speak well, but sometimes he speaks a little fast and
you know, like you say, he talks with a lot of energy. He talks with a lot of energy. So if you ain't paying attention, you might miss a lot of gems because he does talk with a lot of energy and speed. So talk me through that first competition, man. How it felt, and who you went up against. Who did you see? What was that first competition? Was it the second NBXA?
Nah, it was the third, man. I don't know. I don't think they got footage of the first one. I think there is.
It's all pictures. It's only pictures. It's only
pictures, right?
It's only a couple pictures. There's there's footage of Tech. I saw some footage of Tech, like brief footage of his routine, but for the most part, it's all pictures.
Yo, that's crazy. I spent like so many. Yo, you know how much time I spent looking for that first NBXA, and all you saw was like a highlight of pictures. I want to see the video.
Yeah,
but I wasn't the third.
Right. So walk us through that. Walk us through that feeling of getting to that bar for the first time.
Well, remember, we went to go see Doc and D-Real before the competition.
Yes.
And so that was like kind of like a preview to you know, like to the ambience and how we were gonna feel at least a little bit, because you know D-Real is, you know, he's stone cold, bro. And when we went there, he was just like, you know, we were talking. I was like, yo, damn, bro, Doc is creating a machine right now. Like, we got to go back to the lab, man. I was like, we got to go now back, yo.
Bro, I tell people that story that me and you went to Brooklyn and met D-Real when he was literally just developing. And
scary,
we walked away. It was like, yo, this dude is gonna be
scary.
a problem.
It was scary, bro. It was scary, bro. It was scary, and you know what? That reminded me of MBXA. So in 2010, right? So I'm walking in the park. I'm gonna set the picture to them. So people don't know St. Mary's, right? You got the workout apparatus in the middle of the park, and you got a track that runs around, right? So I'm coming down the steps, long stairs. That's on the back of the park. I see everybody is crowded. You know, I see Soul, I see Rebel. You know what I mean? I say what's up to everybody. I see Doc, so I say what's up to Doc. You know, like, yo, Doc, you know, what's be real? We running around somewhere. Oh, all right, cool. He was excited. Doc was like, yo, I'm so excited about this tournament, man. You don't know, man. This is gonna be great. I'm like, yeah, I know. So I'm looking around. I'm trying to, like, you know, analyze everything. I'm looking. I see Juice now. I see anybody. I'm like, what the hell is D-Real? He just said D-Real's here. So I look back at Doc, and then I replayed what he said. He was like, yo, he's just running around. Like, it echoed in my head, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I look at the track, and I just see somebody with a hoodie. Somebody's running, and I'm like, oh, no.
Yep. I remember that. Yep.
All right, so everybody here laughing, chilling, partying, relaxing. War's about to happen, and nobody's noticing this dude charging
up. Yeah.
I was like, no.
Already.
Yeah, I kind of like backed out like Homer in that meme. I just ran up the stairs a couple times. I'm like, no. So that's what he's doing. I was so nervous. I'm like, what's everybody doing for this nervousness? And then when I saw D-Real do that, I was like, that's what you should be doing. So I just ran up the stairs a few times. But even then, I was like, damn, I should have thought of that. Man, that's when I realized. That's when I saw D-Real in like a different light. I said, you know what, man, this dude is like one of the most technical dudes. And that was just the beginning. Like, that was just like the first.
That was the start. That was the start
of the madness. And I was like, yo, if he's doing that now, there's no question about what's gonna come to mind. And in my mind, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at D-Real. I'm saying, if nobody's gonna pay attention to him, then I'm gonna pay attention. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Word. So that's where it really all began from there. I'm like, yo, everybody is not paying attention to what's happening right now, and let me get familiar.
Right. Because you know it. You came in knowing what everybody else had to offer, pretty much. Like, you've seen everybody else on video and everything else. D was that question. And if we hadn't seen him in person that day, just training and seeing his focus, you know what I'm saying? Because I did the same thing. By the time I popped up, I took the same path. I came out the back way, and immediately I saw him run past me. And I looked around. I was like, oh, he's warming up.
He's warming up.
Everybody else is mingling.
Everybody's mingling,
okay.
Man.
I was like, okay, this man is taking this very seriously.
That was the beginning of it all, bro. I was like, man, he's a different dude, man. You gotta really respect that craft, because those are the kind of like people that would just like smoke you, and you don't even know that, you know, you don't even know the dust is on you before he already lapped you. You know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of people that do that, and you know, like, damn, how you do that? That's how he did it. He was preparing from seconds before anything started. He was getting ready. You know.
Right. So again, they call you, yo, it's your turn to go. What's going on through your head? Because I need all of the people that's just getting into this or want to get into this to understand the mindset you need to be successful at this. You know what I'm saying? So they call you, it's your turn to go. They put on music on. You got to touch that bar for what? 2 minutes, a minute and a half?
I think it was a minute and a half.
You already had
was it a minute and a half? No, I think it was a minute.
It was like a minute and a half. Oh, I think like something like, I forget. But so you already had the routine in your head?
Nah. And I had two things I wanted to do, but the transitions to get to there, I didn't know how I was going to get to them. But I knew there was two different things I wanted to do each round, and I just didn't know how to transition to them. But I had them in mind, and I just went. You know what I mean? I just went full blown. Like, it's just like, it's one of those things you just really can't you can't really explain it because with the cameras on you and the people waiting for you to do what you're gonna do, and whatever routine you think you're gonna do, it is not gonna come out at all how you think it's gonna come out. And that's one of the most important things, because that pressure is like no other, man. You got a lot of pressure on you, and when the time starts, like, you got to get ready to go, you know. And it's a minute on the ball, and you're not coming off. And that's like, like when you go into the details of this competition, and you break it down so people can understand. As far as like when you start, it's 3 rounds of pull-ups, 2 rounds of dips, 2 rounds of push-ups, and is once you start your round, it doesn't end until the minute ends.
Right.
Or until you stop and get out of that position that you started. Those rules are so crucial in this day and age, because, like, well, back then it was crucial back then because, you know, it separated you. You could be fire for the first 2 rounds, but, you know, how can you stay afloat? You know what I mean? Are you that rocket that goes up and comes down throughout the second round, or are you gonna do things to like try to like mitigate your moves or something like that, or basically just try to categorize your moves and how you're gonna do it and how you're gonna perform it, you know? Because if you overexert yourself in the first round, you still got 6 more rounds to go. And if handstands are your most important thing, and you start shooting them out in the beginning, once it comes to the dip and push-ups, you know, it's not gonna look too pretty. And that was one of the things that I always try to train for, which was like to try to not get fatigued for handstands. Like, that was my main thing. I wanted handstands to be the muscle up for me, because I learned that first. But also I was comfortable with the pushing. You know what I mean? I'm a pusher more than I am a puller. You know, once I understood the kind of anatomy that my body is and what I'm comfortable doing, you know, I went for the muscle up because the muscle up will get me to the places I need to be, and it's good for the muscle growth and the endurance that you need to build muscle and for these competitions. But the handstand was the prize for me. The handstand was the thing, the move that I sharpened the most, because it has so many avenues to break from. You know what I mean? You could do it in the dip bar, in the pull-up bar, in the push-up bar. You could use your fists, your fingertips, your wrists. You could use, you know, so many different things to amplify it. But also, you could also put it into a routine. Once you learn how to control it, you could execute it into a minimal routine and make it bigger than what it is, you know?
Right. And that's what I remember watching in your competitions, that was always your thing. We all knew the handstand was coming. We didn't know how you was going to present it to us or when you would present it to us. Because there'd been times that you didn't bring it out until the end. Yeah, most people are sitting there like, yo, how is he able to do this at the end of the routine? You know, that time I still have this picture when you did the handstand on the dip bar with the wrist flipped over, with this little kid looking at you like, what is going on here right now? Those things, like, and it almost made it unfair to everybody else. But you gotta, like you said, you gotta go to your go-to move. You know what I'm saying? You gotta set yourself apart. And back then, in that era, it was all about creativity, which again is lacking now, you know, because they want to make it a little something else. But that creativity was key, because now everybody's it sticks out because you are known for this. And in every competition, the best part about that was one competition. Next competition came up, we know, okay, yeah, he got this, and this. But you would still bring out something different. You know what I mean? So the constant development was always there, which is what I appreciate about that era of freestyle calisthenics. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that was like the golden era, bro.
That's what I consider it too.
Like that was the golden era. It was you gotta understand, man. You rubbing elbows with the likes of Juice, Soul, No Question,
show offs,
with Kev, you know what I mean? These dudes are, you know what I mean, monsters. Super Mario, when D-Real mentioned Super Mario was in 2010.
Yeah.
And he was doing them back, the back typewriter.
Yo, he had one of the cleanest 360s in history.
Yeah,
he used to spin that 360 in the same position every time, and would do it multiple
he
times and stay in the same position. I was like, yo, and he's a tall dude.
Yo, that's crazy. That's right. Yeah, he was one of those. I forgot. I was going to talk to you about that. About the top three first people you saw do the 360 from New York.
Oh, you want to know that story, right? I did it a while back, right? But I never made a video of it. The first person to post a video of it was Nairos.
Yeah, Nairos.
Yeah. So I was like, yo, I messaged him, was like, yo, I'm mad right now because you literally are the first person to do it. Yeah. I did it already.
Officially.
But because you put it on video, it's yours.
Yeah.
And he got that.
Yeah,
he got that. I was like, yo, I was sitting there like, yo, it's a different era now. You can't just show up and show people that you got to put it on camera so people can, so it's documented.
And Juan, I think Juan was next.
Yeah, Juan was Juan was also Juan. Of course, Juan had the fame. So once Juan did it,
no, it was over. That blew the lid off. It was over.
Yeah, man. I mean, even moves.
I think he was the second.
Like the what? What's that?
I think he was the second person to have the
I think so. I think so. Because he did it. Because he did it different too.
What do you mean? Oh,
he did it higher.
Yeah, he was going higher, but landing on
spun it. It would look like that's the other thing too. Yeah, he went higher. Yeah, and his the way he did it was different too. Like that's another thing. Everybody wasn't doing it exactly the same. You know what I'm saying? Your trajectory was different. Most people, like I said, Mario did it straight up. Like it was straight up and down. It was the smoothest 360 I've ever seen. Juan would fly off the bar and be horizontal with it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Naros did it with power. So it was good to see that difference and everything else. That second time you battled D-Real, was it more planned than the first time? Because first of all, I clearly said the second time you battled D-Real because that's what it was. It was a Powerhouse versus D-Real competition as far as I was concerned. Because y'all two were the top two as far as I was concerned.
What year was this? This was 2012?
Yeah.
Or 11? No, he was 11, right? The second.
11. So the year after 10, yeah. Yeah, it was the 2010 was the first time he competed.
So 2011. Yeah, that was yo, D-Real, he came out with a lot of stuff that I didn't expect for him to do. You know who your equal is in this culture, which is like a beautiful thing. As far as like if you put your ego aside, you'll be able to gauge without even having to really do much homework. Like who's your equal as far as the handstand, as far as the muscle up or endurance or physical strength is. And with D-Real, I always felt like we matched up like in every single attribute. Like it was always the same. And the only thing that was different was a creativity part because no one's creativity is the same. And his approach was always what was best for how he moved. And so I would take the same approach as well too, because in the end, D-Real always came out with something that, like I said, like I never would ever expect D-Real to do some of the things that he was doing towards the end. And he started doing that too, where he would like leave, the haymakers for the end of the rounds. Like if it's like 3 rounds of sign, the last round of that, he's coming with a haymaker to knock you out. You know what I mean?
And he was strategic. Because he was straight. He knew you with a handstand, man. So he locked in the handstands.
He locked in the handstand.
He was doing the clap. He would drop down into the tiger bend and all that stuff.
Tiger bend drop. Serious,
man. Yeah.
There's
some good times.
Yo, D-Real, man. Shout out to D-Real, man. We gotta make something happen, man. We gotta make something happen.
Yeah. We're gonna sit down because we're gonna sit down with D. We're gonna sit down with Doc and a couple other people that I'm not gonna mention now because I don't want to talk too much and let somebody else run off with this concept that I plan on doing. But it needs to happen. I think it needs to happen, and it's something that can continue to go on. But I'm gonna stop talking about that. We back to you now.
Got you. It's gonna be good though.
Huh?
No, I'm saying it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's necessary for the culture. That's what it is. So, talk to me about when MBXA kind of drifted off a bit, and then you became part of Be Extreme rather. You became part of Team Blackout with Soul and Young Monster.
Yeah.
What was the plan when you guys broke off?
I mean, the plan originally was Matrix thought it was best because we already had an idea that we wanted to break apart to do our own thing anyway. You know what I mean? And Matrix was, behind it all too. He felt it was great that the Generals was branching off and making their own team, because in the end it'll just make the Extreme brand just that much stronger. Because you follow the route of where everything comes from, you understand that it comes right back to Be Extreme. And how far the tentacles go. When you go back to the roots, you end up home anyway. So Matrix wasn't too, he didn't really care too much about. Well, he didn't have no ill wills towards it, is what I'll say. But he was supportive of it, and then me and Soul just decided to, create Blackout. And we talked about it. He was like, "You should be down." So he didn't even ask me if you should be down. I felt like I was already, whatever. We already talked about it for so long that I'm like, I'm there, bro. Right. So whatever you're doing, I'm supporting. So it was like I was already there from the start. You could just say that, and it just, we started grinding hard from there. The routines got bigger and more difficult. And I felt like I had to put a lot more emphasis on training harder, so that when people look at Blackout and they see the branch off, that, we didn't become weaker or I wanted them to see a different me. Because at the end of the day, it was always just to be a part of the culture. But once I competed, the goal was always just to compete against best. Like there was really nothing else that I can even, like, there was no other agenda in my mind except I wanted to compete against the best. So as the years kept coming, there were more people that were more athletes that were growing into their own identity, and it was getting a lot larger, a lot faster than I could have predicted. So there was so many people that I couldn't keep track of. So I just stood with the New York athletes and focused on the styles that was coming out of here.
Right. So that brings me to my next thing. I always tell everybody about Ed from Bar Stars giving me that phone call one day. I was at work, and it was one of the hardest decisions I had to make at the time, but the easiest one at the same time. Because he hit me up, he called me up, said that they were doing a calisthenics competition in Russia. And he was like, "Yo, you got your passport?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." And he was like, "Yo, you want to come?" And I was like, "Yeah." Initially, I said, "Yeah." And I had to call him back and was like, "Yo, take Powerhouse." And I was like, "Yo, take Powerhouse." I was like, because I need the rest of the world to see what he is doing. Because I immediately started researching what they were doing over there, right? And it was all gymnastic based. The handstand played a major role. A lot of static holds played a major role. But the creativity level, there was only a few people following the New York blueprint and adding that extra creativity that stood them out from the crowd. So I was like, nah, I need them to see what New York creativity looks like at the utmost. Get Powerhouse out there, man. What was that experience like when you took that trip?
I mean,
the first trip.
Yeah, the first trip. I mean, I didn't even know that part until you mentioned it in the interview with Ed. I was like, damn, that's fire, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
That was that. I'm grateful for that too. That was an experience I'll never forget too, because I saw so much over there from what was about to happen, because it was just so much going on. The culture, I felt like it exploded from New York, hit the coast, and then it hit the world. Like it ain't even like you didn't even have a chance for like the neighboring, for like the state, you even have a chance to know what was happening.
Bro, we missed like 38 states.
Yo, it went across the pond and went straight. Yo, it went everywhere, dude. Right. But when I went over there was a lot of it was like a culture shock for me. There was a lot of things that was new to me. You know, they were, the way that they trained. It was like second nature. They didn't have many distractions out there. Like it was either you work out. You know, it was like it was structured to the point where it was easier for you to get into fitness. And with that culture, the way that it was growing in Russia, having it being new, and it's still growing here. You know what I mean? It was new in New York,
right?
And you had a lot of videos coming out of New York. So the styles that I was seeing and when I went to Russia, it was like a clash of some of their own and some of that was happening that were being constructed here. You can see Zeph style and B style, and you can see the Hannibal styles, you know, mingled in with their own strength, which was like, it was crazy to see. And then I ran into a crew because it was a lot of like at that time it was a lot of clashes between bodyweight cultures. You know what I mean? Like you had parkour people and and b-boy crews that were like work out with us. You know what I mean? Like they were fascinated with the way that we would structure our workouts, that they felt that, you know, they would be able to, you know, improve in their own thing. So it was like when we went over there, it was like a lot of like break dances, and there was a couple of parkour dudes and mingled in with the bar dudes. And there was even a crew that like they were b-boying to like Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, dude. They were b-boying and they had the baggy jeans, not sagging. They weren't sagging, they were baggy. Like they were just baggy. Like, and I'm like, yo, I came back to the 90s when I went over there, you know, as far as like the music culture and like them embracing b-boy, I felt like I took a trip to the past. Wow. That was one of the things over there. But other than that, it was just a great experience, man. And shout out to Ed and you too as well for that opportunity, man. It was a moment I'll never forget, and it changed a lot of my perception of life.
Yeah, man. It was that, like I said, that was in this my whole calisthenic experience. That and missing the very first MBXA are two things that I always wondered what would happen if I actually went.
Right.
But I'm glad with the decisions that I made. You know what I mean? Especially with the one with you, because then when I saw the pictures and heard the feedback and everything else, I was like, yeah, I made the right decision. I was like, I said I could go there whenever I want. But this time, that opportunity, I needed them to see what the creativity was like. Especially, like you said, they absorb hip hop culture, breakdance, all of the things, all of these elements. So they understand the creativity. I needed them to see it still existed. That whatever they were doing, you were still doing something they weren't even thinking of yet. You know what I mean? And then like I remember immediately after you left, I started seeing people doing handstands on the back of their palm. And I was like, that's what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted to happen.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean?
Oh,
that's exactly what I wanted to happen. So tell me about the second time. Second time you went out, went overseas.
Second time I went, it was with Zeph. It was me, and shout out to Zeph for that opportunity as well too. Because again, he could have took anybody, and that invitation, you know, it came to me. So I'm very appreciative of that, sincerely. But that trip was great, but it was you know, it's a bit of a handicap as well too, because it was me, it was Drew from the West Coast,
right.
It was Rick, it was Keith Warren,
yeah, cool.
And then I forgot was it? No, it's a sign. Forgot. He's from the UK.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I forgot his name too. I know.
Yeah, the Asian brother.
Yeah.
I forgot his name too. I don't want to butcher it. That's why I'm not even going to.
Right. So it was pretty much a team that they had to throw together. basically.
Well, yeah, we didn't have it. I felt like the competition was like we were skilled. You know, you look at the five of us, like we, you know what I mean? We could do some damage, you know, as far as like showing our skills and showcasing our talent and just, you know, representing New York to the fullest, or the United States to the fullest. That's what it was, the US.
Right.
And I felt like the teams had a little bit of an advantage because they were able to train together before we were able to train together. So like that chemistry wasn't really, you know, developed.
Yeah.
But other than that, like that's probably the only thing that I probably have as a con. Everything else was just like the learning experience. Like I got so much footage that I have never, ever, and probably will never like show. But it's just like the feats of strength that I saw there, and it was just all homework. You know, like when I got the invitation, I was like, I can't believe I'm going on this field trip. Like I'm taking notes. I'm doing everything I can to bring everything that is out there that is abnormal and unorthodox and that is not in style here or they haven't caught on to it over there. I'm gonna just create it and make it Powerhouse. Like I'm gonna do something to make it, you know what I mean? Give it a spin off.
How was the athletes? How did the athletes greet you? The ones you competed against the second time?
Now they showed us love, man. They showed us love. It was a competitive. It was competitive though. You know, it's a competitive nature, so it's not. You know, there's no malice, or, you know, negative energy. But you know, you got your game face on. You know, and it was you know, once the competition was over, everything, you know, kind of died down. We were able to, you know, politic enough to, you know, get our points across and just, you know, just communicate, you know, converse.
Right,
but before then, it was none of that. It was just straight. We going to war,
stone
man.
face.
Like, no, everybody just stone face. I mean, there was a few people that were just having fun with it. I was having fun with it too. Like I'm like, I don't even care if I don't care where I place. Like I'm just trying to place.
Yeah, absorb the moment.
Yeah, for the moment, it is what it is, you know. But
yeah,
that was a great experience, man. That was a great experience. And then another culture shock over there. Right after the tournament, me and Drew, we couldn't wait to get out of there. We couldn't wait to get back to we were looking for concession stands to see if they had like some alcohol or something. But we were already done. We were like, we're already training and anything like this. Look, we want to. That's it. Everything is done. I want to have a nice steak and then, like, you know what I mean, get a beer.
Relax.
So we went back to the hotel and then we ended up going to one of the bars and then I think we ordered a beer each. And then one of the this Russian guy came. He was one of the competitors too, one of the athletes. And then this is crazy. But he looked at us and he gave us a look. He was like, you drinking? We were like, yeah, we drinking. And then he was like, will you work out? I was like, oh, damn. And I was like, I wanted Drew to answer this and everything, but we were both like stumped. And we were like, nah, it's celebration. And then he was like, you drink for celebration? And I was like, yeah. He was like, but it's poison. And I think Drew guzzled his beer. He was like, I don't want no more. And then I think I drank a little bit of mine. Like, I can't even finish this, man. It was just the greatest way to stop somebody who drink. It was that. And I was like, we had to wait till like everyone leaves, and then we came back down. But that was fun though. It wasn't like it was just a shock because I guess when he broke it down, he was basically saying that, like, you know, I guess because like drinking is a big thing over there. So there's a separation between like some people they don't get that you drink for celebration, you know, and that was one of the things that he didn't like. It was a culture shock for him. Like, you drink for celebration, like, you know, I eat healthy for celebration, like. And I was like, oh, I mean,
and especially was considering, you know, like your athletes.
Right. You know, it was one beer. You know? It was one beer.
Yeah, right. Because but then when you think about it, most people won't know that most Olympic runners smoke cigarettes.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You know, but it's that part that you don't see. You know, it's that part that you don't see that makes us human.
Right. Yeah. That's. I mean, yeah.
But that's funny.
What was it? IP man was he used to smoke cigarettes? IP man.
Nah, IP don't smoke.
No, Hitman, original Hitman.
Are you trying to put people on blast right now, bro?
No, the martial artist, dude.
You said It Man? I thought you said somebody else.
Nah.
No, he does. He does.
IP man.
Not IP. IP don't smoke. I mean,
No,
the one from the movie, yes.
For the movie, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yo, you gonna have the IP man for the movie. All right, just in case.
yeah. But then, see, that's Hollywood too, man. You know how Hollywood is. Hollywood. Everybody's always smoking a cigarette in a movie. So
right,
you
right,
can't tell me Big Tobacco ain't got some money in that. So. All right. So, in those contests, did you realize the change in the styles now? Like that was back when they were still doing like the celebration thing, when they would go into the crowd and like liven up the crowd and all that too, right?
Yeah. It was there were a lot of how do you say I mean it was different because you had the guys from Ukraine, they were more into like real strength moves where it was like weighted strength, and some of the Russian guys too, they were into weighted calisthenics, and then they would do their their planches and handstand, and they had their own routine going on, but it was mostly static, for some of them. And I think the Spain team, they had a real dynamic team too. They had a little mixture of everything. But it was like it was a lot of teams from different countries, and they had their own style. But most of them, you could tell that they came from certain people in the States.
Right.
You know, you would only be able to determine that the closer you are to the root of the culture. And since I was privileged to be only like 2 years shy of when the whole thing really went big, I was able to actually see firsthand like the creators of some of the most basic moves that people just do regularly now, and these moves were like created and now it's done, by the masses.
That's true.
By the masses.
Part of that, and you're part of that that era, that influence. You were part of that. That was the reason why I was like, I'm gonna send him out there, because if I go out there, I'm gonna just be out there getting mad at them for calling it street workout. But
damn, man. Yeah, that was another thing, man. I couldn't even fall behind that, man. I couldn't even.
Yeah, it's one of these things that like we gotta like.
It's a culture change, you know what I mean? Street over here doesn't mean the same other places, Street over here it's like almost derogatory, or it's like it's almost like at the bottom of the whole of everything. You know what I mean? It's like it's not something that you aspire to be around or involved with, basically. As far as in this society,
right.
Other places, street is street. You know what I mean? Street.
Yeah. And and it's renaming what we created.
That too.
That's my biggest problem with that. You don't tell us what to call what we started. You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't saying we as in me, but I'm talking about this coast.
Right.
New York specifically. That's all I'm saying.
New York specifically, word.
Yeah. So, all right, so then you come back from overseas, you get the feel of that. What was the difference in competing in, like, even watching the New York competition? Because around that time, New York competitions pretty much kind of died out, right? It was only like pull-up hard jam was the most consistent thing happening.
Yeah, there wasn't many.
And that was all reps. There wasn't no other real big freestyle competitions.
Yeah, no, there weren't no more. I think the last freestyle with the MBXA was 2013.
Right.
No, yeah, 2013.
Yeah. That was the year.
That was
the year after.
Yeah,
that was the year after we created Brotherhood.
Yeah, that was the last year I competed. Yeah. After that, we had what was the one from New Jersey? The
ICF. That very controversial competition.
Yo. Oh man, there's so many.
Yo, without controversy, what would we have, bro?
Yo, there's so
D-Real,
many
they
things
go
that
D-Real
went on
again.
there.
D-Real took home the 5K.
Yeah, he took it, man. Well deserved too. He did his thing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
He did his
He
thing.
did his thing.
He did his
Yeah,
thing.
that.
I was happy for that too. I was like, if anybody was gonna get it, what he did that day, I
Yeah,
was like, yeah, he was supposed to.
Yeah. I was like, everything else is controversial, but D won that first place.
Yeah, word.
Yo, then you got involved with UFL, thanks to me. I'm gonna say that too, because I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. The very first UFL competition was actually called the IFC, I believe, or something else. It was a different name, and it was the one on Coney Island. And they had already had the whole thing planned. I was just gonna come and be a judge, and I looked at the roster, and I was like, "Why is there nobody from anywhere else but Brooklyn in this competition?" Doc, if you watch this, I'm blaming you. That's my man. But I was like, yo, can we get somebody from the Bronx in this at least? At least the Bronx. Just one other borough. And I got you and Soul in that competition.
That was crazy, man. That was crazy. Shout out to Doc, man. That was a crazy competition, man. That was
the relay. That was the relay.
What year was that? Was 2015?
About that. No, it might have been earlier. It might have been earlier than that. I got to bring up the pictures. Matter of fact, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna post a picture and date. I'm dated because I have the picture that we took, a black and white picture with all of us, and Beast was in it because Beast was the MC.
Yeah.
And I have a black and white picture with all of us, and I have pictures of when Abs won in the arena and all of that. Yeah. So I have the dates from that. I'll post that tonight. Matter of fact, I'll post that tonight.
I forgot what year was that, but I remember that was when we did the was the muscle up competition.
Yeah, it was like a relay. It
was a relay, right?
Yeah, and then the run,
and then the freestyle.
Yeah.
After that,
that was Nigel's first competition.
Right. Yeah, Nigel. Word.
So quick update for everybody who doesn't know. There was a young athlete named Nigel with the Bar Stars, and he suffered a major injury. He's still alive today. He's just confided. He's bedridden, and he was quite the talent. Yeah,
he had it, man.
Yeah, and that was his first competition. I reached out to Ed and was like, "Yo, I need another competitor, man. Give me somebody." And he was like, "I got this new fresh talent." And he came out, he did his thing, man.
He was serious too, man. He was serious about it, man.
Yeah, he was. It's sorry for him not to be competing and active as he should be. But shout out to Nigel. He just had a birthday. I think his birthday just passed, matter of fact. Or it's coming up. If I forget. But shout out to him. So that competition, it was a muscle up relay and freestyle on Coney Island.
Yeah, man. I forgot.
Sponsored by Gatorade.
Yo, that tournament, I remember. We were. I think we were just freestyling to some. I think it was it after the competition?
Yeah, after the muscle relay was a freestyle.
Right. I think somebody. We were just going off, man. Everybody was just doing everything. And there was a lot of people that was just on the boardwalk watching. Right. We had a lot of people in the beach watching, and then just the competitors itself. I mean, we had Young Beast, D-Real, G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe Juice competed.
Yeah.
Yo, it was so many.
There was a lot.
Yeah.
And
that was one of the first times they paid that. That was one of the first time they paid athletes just to compete.
Yeah. That was the first one.
Let me tell you, I was against that.
What?
I was all for paying them, but I wasn't for paying them just to show up. It's different. It's different when you know you guaranteed money.
Yeah, you put on
then that you could earn more money if you perform better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you just say, hey, here's $100 to just show up and do what your thing, you might not be as motivated as you get extra money if you actually win or hit top 5 or something like that. You know what I mean? I think it's a different feel. Now, the true athletes, the competitive spirit will come out regardless.
Right.
But I'm not willing to bank my bank account that's going to happen when I hand you the money before the thing even starts. You know what I'm saying?
That was one of the things, man. You know, to compete, but to get paid before, it kind of takes away the spirit, the fighting spirit, at least a little bit. I know it kind of didn't for me. Like I said, I just wanted to. Right. You had monsters, man. There was monsters out there, man. There was people that will smoke you in an instant, and if you weren't ready, you get embarrassed, bro. Like it was bad, and I just never wanted to be in that position. So like I always respected all of these guys, all of them. They all had something that I felt that could beat me, and I always believed that. Right. Even if nobody else did, I believed that every one of them had something they can do to win against me. So I had to get prepared. So I didn't want to underestimate them. They all some serious athletes, man. And back then it was trying to kill each other, man. Not physically or literally, but we were really trying to come to each other's heads, man. We were trying to really win this. And
that was the good part about it, that no matter what, as soon as that first person went up, whatever you thought you was planning on doing, you was not trying to look like that person that just took the money.
Right.
You were still trying to come out with a win, and that was the best part. That's the best part about this whole culture, is that no matter what, if I put up a post tomorrow and be like, yo, we doing a contest, people show up, man. Everybody still wants the stage. Yeah, man. And you know, we're still trying to plan on providing that stage for everybody to display this talent, because there's still a lot more talent to show. Now, the big stage, UFL competition, Coney Island again, but on the amphitheater, you got rappers performing, you got Juice and Hannibal there, hosted. You got Tyson Beckford and Mario Lopez.
And Mario Lopez, it's a lot. Yo, it's crazy.
Then you got Mike Rashid and Simeon Panda.
Simeon Panda.
They flew some people in from different places. What was that experience like?
Yeah, that one was probably the best one out of all of them, man. Like, hands down, the best competition I ever was involved with, best competition I ever prepared for, and possibly like the biggest wake-up call was everything that happened before, during, and after really shaped exactly where I'm at in life now. Like the whole gearing up for it. It really just like when I look back on it now, like it's cemented and created. I created a foundation from preparing for this tournament, and ended up creating a foundation that I'm still building on top of today. And it goes past fitness. It goes past the culture. Like, this is like, everyday life. Like what I was able to tap into to prepare for myself for that tournament, it was a different kind of discipline. It was a different kind of self-love. I was like just ready to just compete and just put it all on the table. Like, it was just one of the last times I felt like that, and one of the first times in a long time since before then that I felt that, like, I'm gonna put everything like on the table, injury and all. Like, even though like my moves aren't injury prone, like I make sure of it. Like, but I felt like the preparation for that tournament was intense, and competing against like people from across the world, basically. You know what I mean? You had a lot of people that flew in for that one, and it was the first time that like I felt like we had a dream team, man. Like, that team was the U.S. team was sick, man. That was a squadron right there. Beast, Chris, Soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a lot of heavy hitters there. A lot of heavy hitters, man.
As it should be. For the big stage, you got to get the heavy hitters.
Right.
As it should be.
Me and Chris was training for that almost like every like 2 or 3 days. Like we would like update each other on what we're doing for this tournament. We would link up and train with each other, and like, you know, he's doing his handstands and rapid repetitions. I'm keeping up doing mine. You know, I had to do the one-arm pull-ups, you know, against Prove It, and I was just it was just sickening. The sickening, like the what I had to go through, what I put my body through, and the mental anguish that I had to like go through to like. I was going to school and I had to go to work. You know what I mean? Like I had work and school and still training, and I had a whole bunch of other things going on in my personal life, like that I was cherishing more and I wanted to build on too. But that's why I felt like I'm going to put it all on the table now, because I don't know if I'll be able to compete at this level again. Not because I physically won't be able to, but because I felt that my life was going towards a direction where like fitness was going to be more of a therapy than it was going to be anything else. Like it was going to go back to its roots. The main reason why I started working out in the first place, which was for tranquility before the competitions came. But now that I was getting progress and seeing a different, you know, life, basically, you know, I just started seeing it. I said, every man knows, you know, when you're happy, things start to build, and you know, you're okay with that, which is different. You know, you're okay with the added additions when you're happy, and you know that it's secure, and you know you're 100%, and you have 100% support as well too.
That's the part right there. That 100% support is key, because
Right.
like I said, you had everything in place to just chill.
Yeah.
You know, and you did what you have done throughout the years. Is you knew a competition was coming, and you wanted to show your best self at that competition, and you did what you do, bro. But well, you know what? I'm gonna go back, because you mentioned your boy, your protege, Mr. Chris Joyce. Christopher Joyce. If y'all don't know Christopher Joyce, Google him right now. This man has been on the Ellen Show. He's on that. He just had an episode on what's it called? The Big Show? Is it called The Big Show? The Big something show with Snoop Dogg and
I forgot the name of this.
yeah, it's like the big something show. I forget the name of it. I only got to watch like 3 episodes, and one was the one with Chris. Because you know that's our boy, man. That's our boy, right?
Chris kills it every time, man. Every time.
Talk to me about Chris. How did you meet this kid, man?
Yo, we grew up. He lived like 2 minutes away from my parents' house. Like, and when I was, you know, living in the area, he lived, you know, down the block. And when I was training for the MBXA tournaments, he would be at the park, just chilling, doing handstands, dude, just relaxing. He wanted to be a rapper at that time, so you know what I mean.
He's still doing his music. So
he knows he got his thing. But his handstand is the gold right there. You know what I mean? His rhymes is good too. You know what I mean? But he didn't tap into his fitness yet at the time. We talking about 2010, 2013. This is a long time ago, and he had his own thing going on. But we were always around when it came for these preparations, and also my boy Macho. You know, we're all friends together, like 3 of us. You know what I mean? We were always train together. We were always like just basically set up like mental challenges that will prepare us when we work out again. We'll finish off. We'll pick up where we left off, basically. Okay. You know, like mental training. Like, what if we do this? Like, you know, and then just envision it, and then when we get together, we would do it, and then we'll just do more. You know, and we would just train like that for years, me and Chris. And then after a while, I was like, "Yo, dude, you got some serious strength, bro. Like, tap into it and just go." And you know, he tapped in, and that's it. You know, he's knocking it out the park now. And then before all that, I was I think he got invited to a few tournaments, and I was just like, just wait till the big one comes, because I already went through the loops that you are about to go through. Because you know, when a new name come out and he's nice, you know, the league, you know, certain leagues, they want to get him there and everything. And I'm like, listen, the purse is not right yet. You're better off just keep building the stock.
Yeah.
And then once the UFL thing came, I was like, boom,
that's the one.
That's the one right there, dude. That's the one. And then that was a great experience right there. That I was able to compete alongside my brother. You know what I mean? Like that's my brother.
Right.
We brought it back home.
That's what's up, man. You can't think of it. It couldn't have happened any better way.
That's what I'm saying. Because even if I didn't meet him, let's say I didn't meet him, and he still would have gone and done his YouTube and everything. You know, he's part of the culture in the sense of the New York circus and everything like that. But as far as like MBXA and everything like that, he wasn't familiar with it.
Right.
But I felt that we still would have met through fitness regardless, even if we didn't live next to each other. Like fitness we would have found each other eventually. Because we had kind of like similar training style, but we created it while we were alone. And every time we came together, it was like, damn, like we got similar styles. Even like when Nairos and me, like we never trained together, but our styles are so similar. And it's so crazy because I'm like, it was similar from as soon as I saw his style, I was like, damn, dude, like water.
Yeah.
That's it.
I always said, because we're pushing weight when we do the events at the high schools.
Yeah.
So we would be at Bushwick High School, and I would get a couple other athletes to come along with us. We talked to the kids about health and fitness, and I was like, I'm gonna bring Powerhouse. And somebody was like, yeah, why you gonna bring Powerhouse? I said, because I know he's gonna do something crazy, and there is no attempt. He's gonna do it. He climbed up to the top of the basketball goal, did a handstand push-up on top of the basketball goal. First try. So when I saw Chris Joyce, he came to the park. First thing I told everybody else, you gotta do the 220. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And I seen him disappear. He kind of avoided it. And I was like, here we go. I said, he ain't in this park without doing the damn 220. And then he pulled out his barbell and the dumbbells. And I'm sitting there watching this kid not miss a step. And I was like, yo, this is Powerhouse. I'm watching Powerhouse again. This is crazy. I was like, yo, I'm leaving them alone. You gotta leave people like that alone. Let them do their thing. And did he call you when he told you that he got the call for Ellen?
I mean, we talk pretty frequently. So, you know, if, when it initially already happened, you know, he already informed me once the train was already moving. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Right.
Not when he first got the call, but once it was already set in motion and then he was already there, that's when, you know, he's kind of like me. You know, we wait till right at that last minute and then let everyone know, even the closest one. So
make sure it's secured.
Make sure it's secure. You know, you never know. So you know, you don't want to count your chickens before they hatch, like they say. Right. So with him, you know, he let me know. He let me know before everybody else knew. You can say that, but definitely way after it had already happened. You know what I mean?
All right. So now, in summer of 2019. Maya Bella.
Oh, word.
Your daughter was born in 2019. What was it? It's July?
July 1st.
July 1st.
Yeah,
wow. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
I literally have it written down here on this paper. I was like, it was like July 1st. You know why I remember, right? Of course you know why I remember. Because Kevin from the Show Off, and shout out to Genesis, his lady Genesis.
Word. Shout out to both of them, man.
Was in the same hospital as you having his baby.
Same floor, too.
Yo, this blew my mind. This blew my mind because I'm hearing you tell me, yo, I'm in the hospital, this and that. And then, you know, she about to have the baby and I'm sending you well wishes. And then I look on Instagram and see that Kevin's in the hospital. And I see the name of the hospital. I was like, yo, Kev is in the same hospital as you. And then you run into him.
Yeah,
yo,
man.
What are the odds? What are the odds?
That was a crazy day, man. I mean, the whole day was crazy because of, you know, my wife was in labor and, you know, how everything goes with that. You know, she was frantic and we were just trying to get everything in order, get ourselves situated. But once we got to the hospital, and we got we found a room. They put us in the room. I think I went to go get I think a drink or some ice. I'm not really sure. And then I just see some braids. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm good with faces, and I'm like, the only person that got braids like that is Busy Bone and Kevin. So I was like, yo, that's Kev for sure. Busy ain't here. So I was like, so I ran into her. I said, what's up? And he goes, oh, I'm here. You know, my wife is giving birth too. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. That's the odds of it. The same floor, same hospital. And it was and the same the women went the same way. No epidural. Went all natural, both.
Yo,
troopers, bro, soldiers.
That day, man, I was like, I'm like, yo, I hope y'all don't mind. I have to post this and let the world know that this happened.
Yo, crazy.
I put it up all over the place. I was like, I can't believe this. Did this happen?
That was amazing. That was a great start to what it is now that I can look to now and say it's like the happiest moment of my life right now. You know, and that was what I was saying, that I put it all on the table in 2017 was because of that, because I knew that this part of the journey was going to begin. You know, me being a father, having a family, you know, and having a career, because you know. In 2017, I think I had just like started getting into the industry of electric. So that was a game changer for me, because I was working security, doing competitions. And you know, when you do security, like I said, you got so much time afterwards that you can compete. When you do like trades, you're working 8 hours a day or more, and it's hard labor work, you know what I mean? Not hard labor, but it's definitely a lot harder than, you know, just standing up. It's all mental insecurity, you know, but everything else is physical. And I had an opportunity to go into the electrical field, and I knew that I was coming, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to train the way I was training before, keep up with this career, embrace what was happening with me, you know, having a clear mind of being a family man, father. You know what I mean? I was a family man before I even became a father because of my family. I have a big family. You know what I mean? So I'm so oriented in that aspect that like it was bound for that to happen. So I mentally knew that once like I surrender to the idea of trying to be a fitness athlete that gets paid, you know, that's the main thing, gets paid. You know, you could be a fitness athlete, but if you don't get paid, you know, the other side of that world starts to, you know, deteriorate. And you know, you only have your you know, your followers and views to keep you up. I didn't want that for me. You know what I mean? I wanted it to be where like it could be therapy again. You know, it could be something that I can just relax now. The pressure's gone. No more. I mean, competitions, I could do it again, but not like back then where you had to stay ready. And staying ready is time consuming.
Right.
It's extremely time consuming. So I just knew it was gonna come, man. And I'm probably the happiest I've ever been in my life right now.
See, that's what I love to hear, man. Because I felt like it was only like me, Red, and like Keith, and a couple other people that understood what it was like to go through this whole calisthenic journey with a child.
Yo, you know? Man, I don't even know how y'all did it. I don't know how y'all did it.
You know, with me, it was easy because my son was down for whatever at all times, you know? So like, he was always with me. So it didn't matter. As long as we were outside, he was happy. Right. And that's why it worked for me, because he was the person that I was with. He was the first person to videotape me. When I put my first video on YouTube, he was my cameraman. You know, I wasn't setting up cameras. I was putting a camera in the hands of a 7-year-old, and he did his thing. You know,
you still got those footages?
Yeah, it's still on YouTube. My old YouTube page. That first video, my son. Not the first video. It was like 5 videos that he videotaped. Like, he was my cameraman. You know, and so that was a blessing for me. So to watch you like now, like even the video you posted today with her,
Yeah,
yo, it
yeah.
fills me with so much joy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, now they understand what I feel.
Word, yeah,
Truly, they
man.
understand the true meaning of life is to bring life into this world and nurture that life.
Exactly, man.
You know?
I feel like that's what it is, man. Like if you're in this life, if you're not trying to create life or better a life, then you're wasting a life. You know what I mean? It's even if you don't want to have kids, but if you're not even passing on, you know, and paying it forward or helping, you know what I mean? If you're not helping somebody or you're not, let me see how I say this. I don't want to say it wrong, but
You said it right. Put that on a
No, you're
T-shirt,
right.
man.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, or bringing positivity to this world. You just have to, like you said, you've influenced Chris. You've influenced numerous people through your videos and your creativity and just your persona. You could be gone for years, come back, make one video and get a bunch of likes, but not even just the likes. Like I said, there's people right now still emulating the moves you do. Like we talked about the kid here in Harlem, Shaq, young
oh,
kid Shaq. I
back,
saw him
yeah,
doing it. I saw him doing the wrist moves. I was like, there it is
yo,
again. I was
that
like, there it
dude,
is again.
that
And
dude's
for him,
scary, man.
you know,
He's another
and
scary
just to
dude.
hear, and then, like you said, he's still developing. You know,
Yeah,
he's still
yeah.
developing, but he did his homework. He found that gem that nobody else is daring to try, and was like, yo, I'm gonna jump on that. So shout out to that young man for
Yo,
recognizing that, you know. And again, that was you, man. That was you. Yo,
shout
John, I
out
know
to
you.
you too, man.
John, you sound like you itching to say something. Go ahead.
You know how much I'm starving. I'm back here like is Q gonna ask? Okay, he did ask it. If he gonna say, all right, he said it. No, but no. Look, man, John, I'm so like I've been impressed with your abilities for years, as I know so many other people have. But one of the biggest things I'm impressed with is your transition out of the sport, because it's not it's not easy. Well, not many people would know. I certainly don't. But to be at a level of notoriety and as high as you were in the game, and to actively walk away and then come on here and say, like, I'm the happiest I've ever been. Because
Right.
a lot of people will look at that and say, you know what? You walked away from a lot. Like, you were at the top of your game. It's not like you were slacking. It's not like people were catching up. You going and people still ain't catch up yet. So it's like, the most impressive thing for me is that you can say, you know, I'm a family man. My daughter is the biggest. I'm the happiest. And then when you say it, the biggest smile comes on your face, so we know that for a fact. Like, now he's serious about this. My
Right.
question,
Yeah, man.
my question to you is this: what would you say if, talking about 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, you got a grandson that finds your footage on the future version of YouTube and asks you, "Hey, Grandpa, can you teach me how to do a handstand?" What is the first lesson you're going to teach him?
He gonna drop him off at Brotherhood.
Oh man. Yeah, damn, man. That's a hard one. I mean, not that hard. I feel like in that situation, I'll probably, you see, 'cause I haven't developed the to say granddad. I feel like the experience isn't there for me to be able to give a proper example. Because right now I'm from 34, about to be 35, so I know there's a lot more wisdom and experience that I need to develop.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, what I would say on how to do the handstand would be to just do certain moves with your push-ups on the floor, right? So this is a technique I use. It's for everyone to it's a gem,
Get your pencils and
right?
pads.
So like if you live in an apartment or if you got wooden floors, you got cracks, you got squeaks on the floor. when you do your push-ups on the floor, sometimes they squeak. So one of the ways that I learned how to balance like my handstands was being able to do push-ups on the floor, on a portion where it creaks, and not let it creak, and do push-ups without letting it creak. So either you go as slow as you can, and then once you get that rhythm, you go as fast, but then once you start creaking, slow it down again. The goal is to not let it squeak. Eventually, you won't be able to do it unless you go on your fingertips. That's the trick behind it all. You won't be able to stop the creak on a palm. You just can't. The way that the weight distributes out, you won't be able to. But fingertips, you'll be able to. I feel like developing the fingertip strength is the key to developing the handstand strength, because you're using your fingertips to balance. So when you use your fingertips as a handstand, as push-ups, you're strengthening up what you're gonna have to use to balance yourself out. Which is those finger presses. You press your fingers and you balance yourself out. So that would be like the main one. Then after that, of course, other more complex ways of getting the handstand I'll introduce according to how high my grandson ends up developing.
You're about to have the strongest fingers in the calisthenics game. Let me tell you that.
Bro, yo, he just broke down a Shaolin monk technique just now, man. I was sitting here waiting him to say just evenly distribute your weight, but he just flipped it to the fingertips. I always forgot to emphasize how much he can do on his fingertips in a handstand. Needless to say. But that makes a lot of sense. But
on the push-ups, though, it strengthens up the handstand.
Because it's about building that control. I get it.
On the fingertips.
Yeah. Yo, bro, I did not expect that answer at all. And that's a definite gem. If anybody's paying attention, try that. I might make that a challenge on CCA page.
Yeah, because you can just take off the music and just do the push-up. We'll be able to hear the creaks.
Yeah.
We'll be able to hear it.
Bro, that's a joke, man. I have one more question for you I think it's from it's from D-Rail. Of course. Of course it's from D-Rail. Which is which contest was your most memorable?
2017, man, when D-Rail was my partner. Like you could even paint a better picture than that. You know what I mean? Like that was like a dream come true. Like, yo, damn, we on the same team. And on the same team with Chris too. It was just like I'm with the people that I admire the most. Soul too, you know what I mean? I admire these guys so much that to have them all on the same team with me, it was just, that was my most memorable ever. Because I saw D-Rail, like when we were doing the one-arm pull-ups, I saw how much he trained to get those. Just the way I was. Remember, he was doing bodybuilding at that time.
Right.
So to switch over right into calisthenics, like people don't understand how difficult that is, man. Like to train for bodybuilding and then like, okay, we gotta do a calisthenics competition and then go right back to body weight. That is not easy, man. Like it's not easy. Soul does it too, and that's another monster there too who does it. And he competed too, and he was doing bodybuilding at the time. So it was just a lot of people that were competing at that time. In 2017, that were all at the highest that they can be as far as athletic skills are concerned. Like they were at their highest, and they still, are still getting better as we speak now.
And you're still getting better because you understand you still training.
I'm still training. That's what
I want everybody to understand. He ain't fall off. He did not fall off.
It just gets, one of the things that I've learned so far is throughout this journey is how sacred time is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Time right now is at an essence when you first start into the game, but like my advice is to basically know what you're gonna do. And if you're trying to make a career out of out of fitness. There's a lot of other things that you're gonna have to put on hold, and having a family and other things might be a little difficult to try to juggle when you're trying to make a name for yourself and trying to be in places that you need to be. And I train, but now I train just so I can maintain myself and stay at a ready where I'm not gonna get smoked. You're not smoking, but I can at least defend myself. I can defend myself. I still got, the handstands. I still got repetition. I still got everything except that I'm not at the optimal competition level where, you know what I mean, I can really put out some serious endurance. Like right now, I haven't been training in that sense. I can give you some stuff, but I haven't been training for a competition level right now. But I am training.
That's right. Well, like I said, we're gonna sit down with some people and have this serious conversation about this thing that we're gonna have planned since this is New Year coming. New Year started and summertime's coming and all that stuff, but we're not waiting for summer. We're just trying to figure out how much time people will need to do this thing that we're gonna do. And
right.
We let the world know about that later.
We gotta have a little sit down, man, and see what we can do.
We're gonna make it happen, man, because there's still a lot to happen in this calisthenics community, man. Still a lot more to happen. And
I like where the calisthenics community is now, man. I feel like is going in a direction where, freestyle is still there, but people are really focusing now on the basics of it, which is great. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are engaging with that side of the culture, which is great, which is what we kind of wanted in the first place, which is to respect the numbers, and it's being respected now. So there's a lot of people that I've been seeing, and these guys, man.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna leave with. Who are you watching? You already know you watching, Chris. You've been watching Shaq, young Shaq.
Yeah, I watch Shaq. Who's that dude, man? Duke Calisthenics.
Duke Calisthenics, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that man. Come on now, dude. You gotta. That dude he's doing some work right now. Serious work. Serious work. And I like POV Josh, bro.
Oh yeah.
POV, man. He got for a dude that tall to have those handstands. Yo.
Yeah, that's a huge understatement. That's a huge understatement.
Yo, that is not easy to do, bro, at all. And I'm looking at it like, and he's more agile with it, which is different. Like he's agile with the handstand. It ain't strict where he just, one. That's it. He can just do the handstand. Like he's doing different transitions and moving into different scopes. Scopes of the handstand. Like he's transitioning as we speak and growing better as we speak. All three of them.
Right.
And there's others too, but I can't really remember their name right now.
But the fact is, you're still paying attention. So for all we know, he waiting for that one person to spark it, and he be like, nah.
Now, I'm truthfully, I would love to see like a competition where you have to qualify to compete, and then that's when, like, I think I'll really, really, really start looking at it in a different light, because it'll eliminate all the politics.
Yep.
All of it.
Yep.
If you qualify and you do this qualification, you can compete in this tournament. Simple as that.
Don't say nothing else.
Say less. Say less, John.
Don't say anything else. This is a different conversation.
This is just like, I haven't talked to Q or anybody. This is my own, you know what I mean? So if he's saying that, listen, I'm not gonna say that, no, but that's how I feel like that needs to be implemented, and then maybe, it could not correct, but it could send the culture in the right direction where it should be.
I feel you, man. Yo, wait, first, John, you got anything else?
Nah, man. I'm gonna let this man get back to his daughter. She's somewhere around there.
Oh, she outside right now waiting for me.
Can't wait.
She can't wait. I can't wait.
You know? But like I said, it's always a pleasure talking to you, man, and hearing what I know is true about you is heartwarming. Send your love to your wife, of course, to Maya Bella. Hopefully this COVID, hopefully this COVID thing lift up a little bit more and we can connect some more. But either way, you know you my man. My man, Powerhouse. You got power failure? You an electrician. Get to that, man. Fix that.
Yeah, I know, man. Oh, nah, a little something there.
Yo, you got anything else for the people before we sign off?
Just stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself, and just understand that discipline is the greatest form of self-love. It's you're actually literally stopping instant gratification for the promise of a better future. So just make sure that what you're doing now, it takes work to make you happy, and it isn't as instant as everything else is nowadays.
Facts.
And,
I couldn't say
fame doesn't pay the bills either.
So unless you get millions of YouTube views, that might help out a little bit. That might help out a little bit.
But I would like for people to understand. You know, what I mean, take it serious if you're going to be an athlete, and just know that at the end of it, there may not be a payout for you. So just have a something in mind where you either got a career in mind or something that you love to do. Secondly, so that you don't put all your eggs in one basket, and then you feel like a disgruntled employee that you didn't because you ain't getting what you think you're worth, and then and in reality, there's no market for it right now. So, I mean, for maybe if you're looking to get a certain amount, to of revenue, you know what I mean. But yeah, whatever works for you, just do it too.
I hear that, bro. Yo, thank you so much for giving us your time, man. I've been trying to get you on here for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, man, probably longer than that.
I was like, look, I know down my list of people, you on my top 10 for sure, always.
Oh, man, I appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it, always.
For sure. Always. All the best to you, like I said. Send your love to the family, and I'm going to see you soon, man.
Definitely, see you soon. Man.
We going to see you soon because we got some stuff to work on. We got some behind-the-scenes stuff to work on that's going to be hitting everybody in the face real hard. Very soon.
We got a lot of things to work on, man. Word up, man. Shout out to John too on the ones and twos.
You already know. And shout out to John on his podcast with ESPN PR. If you haven't paid attention, go to the stories now. Click that link. Click on the link to watch the entire podcast. My boy John McLeod is doing big things other than CCA.
Love.
What's up, man?
Yo, so on behalf of Powerhouse, my man Jonathan, his baby Maya Bella.
Mia.
I would say
Mia, bro.
Mia Bella. I'm Q Fans. This is Pushing Weight. That's John McLeod that you can't see. Yo, this is the CCA podcast. Much love to everybody paying attention. Subscribe, like, follow, all that good stuff. We signing off. Salute.
Salute. Damn.
Hold on, don't leave.